intimidation is not simply somebody walking into a poll with a gun exposed, voting and walking out.
Livingston County Sheriff Mike Murphy says his office has fielded numerous calls from residents saying they're intimidated by the sight of a firearm at the polls. And while he empathizes with them, he tells us that's not voter intimidation. Murphy did give us some examples of what he defines as voter intimidation.
Pointing a gun at somebody, obviously, waving a gun, brandishing a gun, yelling, or saying something to somebody that, hey, if you don't vote for candidate X, and then putting their hand on their weapon, I could go along with that being intimidation.
And Murphy says open carry is legal in polling places inside gun-free zones.
I know in our county there's a old school that has a gymnasium, right? And they've got 4 precincts in that gymnasium. The open carry or concealed carry only applies to that gymnasium because that's the polling location. They can't be wandering the halls, you know what I mean? They can't be out back of the school property, none of that stuff.
Secretary of State Jocelyn Benson has banned open carry in polling places, clerks' offices, and absent voter counting boards. Benson's office says that open carry of a firearm at a place where people are voting can cause voter intimidation and therefore is not allowable. But Murphy says Benson's action is a directive, not a law, and therefore not enforceable. Given that, Murphy wants people who decide to open carry at the polls to perform their civic duty and move on.
If you are open carrying and you are voting, you're going to go get your ballot. You're going to fill out your bubbles, and you're going to leave.
Murphy doesn't want anyone with a gun sticking around the polls, telling us if they do, they'll be pushed back to the end of the 100-foot buffer like everyone else.
There's not going to be anybody, standing next to you with a gun as a poll watcher or, elections worker or anything like that with a gun on. That's just not going to happen.
James Felton, WNEM, TV5.